Police Academy 7 Mission to Moscow. I think this movie might authentically be unwatchable. It is very hard going. I decided I've watched the other six. I'm really gonna try and watch 7. And I got about 35 minutes into it and I had to give up. I watched the rest of it at times 6 speed just to get the gist of it. I do not think I missed anything. What I find really odd about this, by the way, this movie was made 5 years after number 6. But what I find really odd about this movie is stylistically it is so different. It's almost as though the people who made this have never seen a previous Police Academy movie and have come up with a completely different style that has nothing to do with what has gone before, and what they have come up with is terrible. It's much more childish, much more silly, and just bad. And I get the impression they looked at the footage and they said to themselves, oh dear, this is awful, this is really flat and boring and dead. How can we jazz this up? What can we do that won't cost us significant amounts of money to make this better without having to do reshoots, etc.? And I think they came across the really bad idea of adding comedy sound effects and making the music very boisterously comic. The music on this movie is by the person who, Robert Folk. He did the music for all 7 movies, and the soundtrack to this movie bears almost no relationship to what he has done in the previous movies. The previous movies have the Police Academy theme plus other music, and the music doesn't try to be funny, doesn't try to big up a joke or anything. This one, the music is accompanying the scene to be funny. It's trying to be funny in and of itself. Trying to, I think, hype the scene up. Trying to make it funny via music itself, which is not a good idea. But then they've dubbed on sound effects, big, exaggerated, loud sound effects. So when people are jumping around or flying through the air or whatever, you get really over the top, very bad sound effects. And it's just really, really bad. And even worse than that, it will cut to people's reaction shots when people are just going, instead of just letting them go, what they have to do is go, oh? They add these non-verbal bits of audio dubbed on, and the dubbing isn't even competent. A lot of the times it's just so obvious that it's dubbed on later. There's even a lot of dialogue dubbed on later. Christopher Lee at one point in the airport scene walks off screen. His face is still on screen, his mouth is not moving, and his dialogue is still going on. I'm just saying it's not well made. So the soundtrack alone pretty much kills the movie, makes it unwatchable. Those sound effects are really bad. The music is not good. But the whole thing's just terrible anyway, it's just really bad. What surprises me is, why is it set in Moscow? Does the idea of the Police Academy characters going to Moscow excite anyone? As a high concept idea, is there any real juice in it? This reminds me of Die Hard 4, John McClane versus computer hackers. Huh? That's not what you go to a Die Hard movie for. You go to a Die Hard movie to see him fight terrorists, not computer hackers. So I feel that's the Moscow connection just doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in '94 it was a really big deal, but I just feel that the Russian connection is irrelevant. It doesn't add anything. It's really hard to watch this movie. I saw this in the cinema when I was a kid in '94. I wanted to go see the Harrison Ford movie Clear and Present Danger, but my mum insisted, no, we've got to go see Police Academy. Yeah, I did not like it in the cinema back in the day, and it has not grown better with time. So anyway, I watched it up to the weird extended circus scene and that contributes nothing to the plot, and the movie is authentically unwatchable. 1 out of 10. It was a very poor way to end the series on.